Hello, you beautiful people. All right, now I gotta try and get all situated again. Wait, am I live? Okay, ha 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 ha. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I've been having some internet issues today, and I think it has to do with the snow. We have like another foot. I think it might be more than a foot by now. It is just coming down. Hello, Becky. How's it going? I need to get started on this. I feel like I'm really close to this being done. Yeah, we're getting a lot of snow. We got like 2 feet of snow on Tuesday or Monday, Tuesday, and then we're getting another foot right now. It was supposed to stop snowing at around 10 a.m. It's currently 2 p.m. and it is still coming down. I am, well, doing about as well as I could be doing with the state of the world. However, those feelings aside, I'm actually feeling pretty good, and I feel like I'm gonna get this done today. I have like the whole vision now in my mind, and there's not much left I need to do to get it done. Well, I do live in the high desert, so like Las Vegas, Nevada is desert, and then Reno is about 8 hour drive north of Las Vegas. I believe the state of Nevada is bigger than the UK. We're the seventh largest state, so like we're a pretty big state, and Nevada and Reno are two opposite ends of the state, but we're still part of the desert, just higher elevation. So we do tend to get more snow, and this is the first snow we've gotten all season, and it's like we're getting an entire winter's worth of snow in just a week. I mean, we needed the snow. I just was hoping it would have been a little bit more spread out. So the city is shut down for us too because there's just so much snow. Donner Pass, which is the the highway goes through the mountains, the Sierra Nevadas between like us and California to get to the state capital, California, Sacramento, or San Francisco, which is more well known. Like to get there, you have to go over the Sierra Nevadas, and that pass has been closed like the majority of this week. It's always it's always fun dealing with all the traffic because people going west get stuck in Reno, and then everything that needed to come east is all stuck in California. And we just gotta wait it out. We've already, like, unfortunately, have had some accidents happen in the mountains. I'm hoping people are a little bit safer. We don't need any more accidents. I forgot to refresh my water. Look at how dingy and dirty that is. Give me a second. I'm gonna go get some fresh water. Okay, I need to just start. I know what I want to work on. Last night, after my live and yesterday's live and dinner, I worked on this a little bit, just cleaning up some of the details, and I kind of like brought out some of the faces I saw there, put in like 2 more hours. And then with the snow day today and everything closed down, I was like, well, I can go live again and can get some more of this painting done. Acrylics are my main medium, so I do use acrylic paint. My brand of choice, Winsor and Newton Galleria acrylic. I do also sometimes work with colored pencils, markers, crayons, pens. That's why I actually have everything all laid out in front of me because I wasn't sure. Like when I started this painting, I wasn't sure what medium I was going to use. But I feel like acrylic paint's kind of like I have more control over them for what I want to get out. I'm probably going to be doing an oil pastel painting soon because I haven't used pastels in a long time and I'm kind of missing them. Some of my really early fun pieces were done in oil pastels. Oh, I need to. The way that I use them is I color like I do with crayons, but then I use my fingers. I know like they make rubbing sticks and blending stumps for that kind of stuff. I tried using that stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like using my fingers. I feel like just the warmth from my finger helps melt it just enough to make it a little bit more creamy and get a texture I really like creating with. I will definitely talk about it when I make that video. Because I do think like oil pastels get so much slack. So many people hate oil pastels, and I want to show them some love. They can be a lot of fun. How's it going, Spence? I just realized you were the one that left the comment. Yeah, I think it will be a lot of fun. My favorite piece, I actually don't have anymore. I had given it to a high school friend, or a college friend. I don't even know if he still has it, but it was a fun piece to create. And it was my take on a white hole, the opposite of a black hole. I was in astronomy and I was really getting into the class. So like I was doing a whole bunch of like extracurricular studying, going way beyond my level, but I didn't really care. I was really enjoying learning all about the different kinds of things in space and then learning about learning about black holes and understanding like physics. And I was like, well, there's got to be some kind of like opposite reaction to a black hole. And theoretically speaking, it was the Big Bang. That's the opposite of a black hole. So if anything, like the Big Bang, like when it created the universe, black holes were the result of that opposite and equal reaction. We're only seeing like the result of that. And we like in our minds, because of our perspective, we see the black hole and we're like, well, then what's its opposite? Like that was the Big Bang. So I was just kind of like imagining what like that would look like. And I kind of the way that I created the piece, I was looking into like theoretical physics and like fourth dimensional shapes and what they would look like. Because like from our three-dimensional perspective, I know I'm gonna get all philosophical on you guys. It's kind of helping me get in my zone though. But I was looking at like fourth dimensional shapes and how we could perceive them. And theoretically, the only way that we could perceive a fourth dimensional shape is through like we would see a three-dimensional representation of it, but it would be like a shadow, not like a physical like object. It would just be a shadow, even though it would look like a three-dimensional object to us. Kind of like when you're standing on the sidewalk and the sun's shining down on you and it creates a shadow on the sidewalk. If you're looking at just the surface of the sidewalk, that's a two-dimensional plane, and our three-dimensional body created a shadow on that two-dimensional plane. The same thing kind of happens with four-dimensional shapes. So I kind of like took what I was seeing with these like shadows of what a fourth dimensional sphere or hypersphere could look like, and I kind of turned that into an explosion, and half of it was like the sky was black and it looked like a normal explosion in the correct colors. There was a lot of orange with some slight pops of blue, and like I had a lot of fun creating that. And then on the other side, I did the exact same thing, but I inverted all the colors. So the sky was white, all of the stars in it were like black, and then the main explosion was blue with little pops of orange. So then when I could invert the picture on my phone, it would just flip, but it would look almost exactly the same. I had a lot of fun creating that piece, and I'm kind of missing it, and I kind of want to like recreate that. See where I could take that now with like now that more than 10 years has passed and my skill levels improved. Okay, Becky. I didn't mean to bore you, but I know it's kind of late for you. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful night. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with those classes. I'm kind of missing college. I hated school when I was like a kid. I hated high school. I hated elementary school. I hated middle school. But then when I got into college, I found my stride. And it really inspired me to like do all sorts of additional research. I was just like, who says I need to stay with the class? If I can if I can learn faster than the class, I want to learn faster than the class. I used to get in so much trouble for that. Don't read ahead. Or like I would be told I can't participate in the class discussions if I'm ahead of everybody else. It isn't fair to the other students for me to know what's going to happen. And so I wasn't allowed to participate in class discussions or things like that. The adults in my life are so silly. I need more whiteness. I don't know why I keep mixing it with yellow. It's just gonna keep looking yellow. And the scary part is coming up because I gotta figure out like how the trail, the fire trail is gonna look. It doesn't need to look pretty because I'm gonna end up painting over all of this, but I can at least kind of plan out where it's gonna go. Okay, so now I know where that's gonna be. Can I zoom in? I can. Can I clear it up? I think that's about as clear as I'm gonna get it. Okay. I'm really liking how this is coming out. I think this is the first emotional state painting where I'm really combining multiple styles. My surrealism from my emotional state paintings with the stylized landscapes that I do. Kind of smashing them together. This is I'm really liking this one. I might have to splurge and go get this professionally scanned so I can actually like create something with it. I would wear a shirt with this on it. I think these were needing a second coat anyways. I cannot believe how much snow we're getting. I'm just like looking outside and it is still just coming down. I think I would consider this a blizzard. Which is funny because as long as I've been in Reno, I have been told by a couple of people like where I've called storms in the past. And I'm like, oh, this is a blizzard. And they're like, no, you don't know blizzards. You'll know a blizzard. This is definitely the most amount of snow gotten in such a short period of time. I would consider this a blizzard. They're not perfect, but I'm liking the way they're coming out. I gotta say, this would be like absolutely terrifying if I ever saw this in real life. Just thinking about like being up in the mountains and then just seeing like the mountains split open and fiery skulls flying out. That one's kind of getting lost. Oh, I think I left that cracked open last night. Other way, David. I might just need to go get an. Oh, I don't need to get another one if I'm out. I have another one right there. Okay. I do hope wherever you guys are at, you are safe and warm. Just watching this blizzard. That looks a little bit better. Oh wait, I need the nostrils too. Don't forget the little nostrils. Even though I don't even know if you guys could really see it. That clears it up a little bit. Look at that. That funky little guy. Looking a little cross-eyed. There we go. That's much better. I almost feel like I'm spoiling you guys this week. The snow days and not being able to do some stuff and needing to change my plans and then just going with a live. This one's kind of looking like a goofy goober. There we go. He looks better now. Only got a couple more. I think the maintenance people are plowing the driveway. They are. I was gonna go out and do it this evening if they didn't get a chance to get over to us today. That makes me a little happy. I was so exhausted the other night. Shoveling 2 feet of snow out of a driveway for 4 garages and a little cul-de-sac like thing is not easy. Everybody's so quiet today. I take it we're all working on stuff. Don't feel pressured to comment though. You don't need to. If I'm providing you somebody to mirror so you can also create, then that makes me really happy. You guys just gonna have a goofy jaw. Goofy jaw and goofy eyes. I think his eyes are just going off in different directions. That's what's throwing me off. That is already looking so much better. I don't even know if it's coming across on the screen, but I'm, I'm trying. There we go. And now I gotta just fix this cross eyes. Here comes kind of the scary part. I do apologize if you can hear the snowblower out there. I, I, there isn't a whole lot I can do about it right now. If it's too much, though, you just ask me to turn the music up. Kind of surprised the dogs aren't going crazy. I mean, this guy's literally like right in our window, shuffling up the snow. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. I'm sure if you were to create an emotional state painting, you would probably be a lot more impressed with yourself than you believe. And if nothing else, even if it doesn't look the way you were hoping it would look, this kind of painting is very therapeutic. I bet you will feel better afterwards. How's it going, Gray Cloud? Hope work is okay for you. I am finishing up the background on this piece, and I will only have one more element to add in. Go for it. No one has to see it. You're doing it for you. I it's very therapeutic for me, and I believe it would be therapeutic for others as well. And at the very least, if you don't like it, you don't have to show anybody. But at least it helps you get out some emotions. Think of you could use it like a journal. Kind of what it is for me. I don't think I don't think I'm that proficient with words. I stumble a lot. So I don't like to like journal and write and everything like that. I kind of use this like my journal. Kind of what I've used art for like most of my life, and most of the time I didn't show anybody and just destroy them. What's the sad face for, Gray? Are you not having that good of a day at work? I can send you all the positive vibes. They're all for you. I know you're just on break, but the rest of your day will be good. I'm putting that out into the universe for you. You're going to have a good rest of your day. I'm really happy like I added this. See, I didn't even know they were going to turn into skulls when I started this. It's the other reason why I have so much fun with this. I never know where my mind is going to take it. Thank you, Gray. You shoot me a message later. Again, all the positive vibes. You're going to have a good day. Thank you, Frosty. Nice to see you. Not a whole lot. I am going to finish this painting today. One way or another, this painting's getting done today. Like, I need to get back into my normally scheduled stuff, but I'm also like starting to get out of that funk. It was just, I needed to get emotions. It's just emotions taking me over. Get them all out so that I can focus on what I need to. What side of town are you still on? Are you still over in Sparks? You guys getting a whole bunch of snow too out there? We got like, well, I can't measure it anymore. They pulled my they pulled my ruler down I had in the snow to see how much snow we were getting. But the last I checked, we were over a foot. And I have a 18-inch ruler. There was not much left of it sticking out of the snow. I'll have to go out and get there. Hopefully they don't take it. I just thought of that. I put my ruler out in the snow. So we've gotten a total of like, it's had to have been like 3 feet the last 2 days. Is that about how much you've gotten too? Normally Sparks gets less than Reno. I didn't know they were going to come and do the driveway. Last time they didn't come and do the driveway when it was snowing. So I stuck my ruler in the snow so I could just look out my window to see like how much snow we were getting. But they've already plowed through that area and I don't see my ruler area anywhere. That's not on them. That is totally on me for sticking my ruler in the snow. I'm hoping like because they're making snow piles, I hope they just like stick it in the top of the snow pile. That would be very cool of them if they did that. Yeah, it is just missing you, Frosty, because yeah, we've gotten a whole bunch of snow. The pile now that's outside of the window, I would say is about 4 feet tall, and they got one, two, three, four. They have six piles of it, and they're only like halfway through our driveway. Yeah, we we got dumped on. There we go. Okay. Now I gotta figure out. I don't know what color I want to do for this guy. I don't want to take away from the warmness that these skulls and explosion are giving, but I don't want it to get lost. Hmm. I mean, I know we need the snow. We definitely needed it. I just wish, as I've been saying, I just wish we had it spread out. Like, we didn't need the entirety of our winter snow in 3 days. Hmm. Do I want to go green? See, my only concern is I don't want to take away from the coolness that the landscape is giving. I don't want to take away from the warmth of the explosion. But I also want my little character here to look tiny, feel tiny, but also feel like the focal point. And I could see him facing two different directions. I think I want him staring up at it. Hmm. Let's see. I need to figure out what kind of. I know I want a bug because I want that sense of smallness, feeling tiny and up against something massive. So I want to use a bug. You guys are getting to see like my thought process for like how I choose some of the subjects for my emotional states. Actually, I don't think I'm gonna do a bug. So sitting with this feeling kind of made me feel slimy, like skeezy almost slimy, cause like guilty slimy, cause I feel like I know what's going on, and I don't feel like I'm doing anything good enough. But at the same time, like it feels like everything around is just trying to tell you like it's fine, ignore it, just stay in your home and just everything's normal. Keep doing your everyday thing because everything's normal. Almost like hiding. Oh, a snail. Oh, a snail. I want a snail. It carries its home. It goes into its shell to hide. It doesn't do anything. It's small. It's slimy. I'm doing a snail. And then I can go brown and green. And it would stand out on its own. Hey, yeah, this is part of my process. Let's see. I can even see it. I can even see that it's a snail. It's been there the whole time. should really look up a reference, but I'm just kind of like going with intuition with what I'm seeing. So if my snail's not perfect, it's gonna be okay. I'm okay with it not being perfect. Sounds like the snow machine is starting to go out. The snow blower. Just a plain ordinary snail. I don't want to do anything fancy with it. Just, I mean, I might still do some fancy stuff with it, but I don't want any like. I want it to kind of look out of place. But also look like it belongs. Thank you, Frosty. Just needed to get it out. It's been here. He was just waiting to come out. Gotta make it look like it's got some dimension. I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit because that snowblower is loud. I will turn the music back down when they are done. And then I can see too much paint. I need detailed amount of paint. I appreciate that, Frosty. I'm trying to make it look like I want it to look like it's part of the painting, but also look so different so it stands out. Now, so it fits the trees a little bit better. I'm going to use some purple to really like hammer in a super harsh shadow. There we go. I got his shell done. Those are some really big piles of snow. I would show you guys, but like I don't want to film the maintenance guys. It's kind of rude. As soon as they leave, I'll show you guys the massive pile of snow that's now outside my window. In Let's see. Do I want to start with Hooker's green or do I want to start with phthalo green? Phthalo green might work a little more because it's more of a bluish green. But Hooker's green is more of like a true deep green and might help it stand out a little bit more. I feel like I need to go with phthalo green. That's what my gut is telling me. My gut is telling me go with phthalo green, so I'm gonna listen to my gut. Yeah, I think phthalo green is the right call. I'm gonna have to fix up part of this shell. How's it going, Rory? No spins. I mean, I took a couple like basic art classes in my at my community college, but nothing like I didn't go to school for art or anything like that. I wanted to. It's just for the longest time I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was good enough for art school, so I just kind of didn't even bother pursuing it. Oh, it's going out towards you, huh? We just got we got another foot, and it's still coming down. We were supposed to get a little snow today. It was a light snowstorm that was supposed to stop snowing at around 10 a.m. Yeah, it's now almost 4 o'clock, and it hasn't stopped. It's just coming down. Next time the boys need to go OUT, I'm actually gonna have to dig out a walk, like a little walkway for them again. I've already had to do that 3 times because otherwise they're just gonna get lost in the snow. Hmm. I'm gonna have to fix the shell up just a little bit. Like I'm gonna need to bring it down and kind of fix the curve, but that's okay. Ugh, I that is my least favorite point of winter is when we have a period where it's warm enough that the snow starts melting and then we get another freeze. It just makes everything so slick and you can't see the ice underneath the snow. Or it looks like it's just snow and it's like really rock hard. I have taken my fair share of falls in the snow. And it looks like it might be soft, a soft, cushy landing, and it absolutely is not. Yeah, phthalo green was absolutely the right call. I am glad I went with phthalo green. It doesn't look like much on the camera, but I'm just kind of like outlining out its shadow right now. trying to like map out its antennas. There's not antennas, there's stalks. I'm gonna have to fix that. I want to do that before I get too far along. No, actually, the feelings when I was sitting in them, I was like, um, acquiescence is the emotion. I don't know if you were here for that yesterday, but I established acquiescence is the emotion. And I just learned about this. I didn't realize, like, I'd never heard of this emotion before. But when I was, like, trying to figure out what I was feeling, I was taking, like, just the adjectives of this emotion, like, feeling kind of like guilty, but almost like, the dog in the burning house meme. This is fine. That kind of emotion. I was looking into it, and it led me down a rabbit hole for radicalized acceptance, which is a Buddhist belief. And it makes a lot of sense for why I feel so like feeling, because I feel like it goes against my core beliefs, my core philosophy. Um, the Buddhist belief of radical acceptance is just letting everything happen, and you don't resist or fight anything that's happening. So you take all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the cruelty, and accept it, along with all of the beauty, all of the love, all of the joy that's out there. You don't go against the current, you just go with it. And that goes against my core belief, because I do believe like there are absolutely things that we should be standing up against. And it makes sense why this feeling's been like heavy on my heart, because it goes against everything I believe in. But I've sat with the feeling. I've, let it be, let it exist. It is a valid emotion to feel. And so I'm kind of creating this scene over like that radicalized acceptance, which the feeling that's associated with radicalized acceptance is acquiescence. And the landscape is just kind of like, it's supposed to give this hint that it's supposed to be this beautiful, idyllic place. And then something horrible has happened. And the snail is just here accepting it, just letting it happen. Not that I'm saying it needs to do anything to stop it, because obviously it's a snail. What is it going to do against this? But those feelings have also made me feel very slimy and almost like I need a place to hide. Like if I'm in the state of acquiescence, like I'm hiding away. I am just like not facing or standing up against what's happening. So that's like why I'm using the snail, because it goes with like this slimy hiding sense. And I mean, I saw it, the creature there. I just didn't know what it was yet. And then I just established that it's a snail. Yeah, I had never heard acquiescence before either, but that's also why I like doing these kinds of paintings. It leads me down, to discover new emotions and new states of being and understanding my own emotions a little bit better. I feel like it becomes easier to understand an emotion when you like are able to name it and understand it a little bit better. This is the second emotion that I created the painting without understanding what the emotion was and then discovered the emotion afterwards. The other one was equanimity. And that's actually the painting that Rose was inspired from when she made a painting for me. This guy right here, equanimity. And equanimity is being in a state where you're okay with your own mortality. And so when I created this, I was actually doing a do this in your style with another artist. She actually had created a painting with a woman wearing a black sweater, wearing glasses, and holding a skeleton fairy in her hand. And it left me feeling like she was like coming to terms with her own like death. And that's where like I kind of started creating this, and I didn't understand like the feeling exactly, but I was like, I think I'm okay if I were to, suddenly pass, if I were to just die. I honestly would be okay with that. It's like it's part of life. It is a part of living. It's going to happen whether I want it to or not. And so I've just kind of learned to accept it and try my best to not be scared for when that day comes. And that's where this painting came into being. And that's when I learned about equanimity, which is just being okay with one's mortality. And that's now this painting is another one where it's just acquiescence and it's just a state of accepting, radical acceptance, just letting it happen. Well, if you are, even if you're just trying to get back into art spins, if you are creating, even if they're little doodles, I would say that you're doing a pretty good job of getting back into it. So then, yeah, you look at this. Like you're not trying, you're doing. That's absolutely doing. You're doing it. You are making art, and I am all for copying others as long as you're not going out and selling what you create when you're copying others. That is going to help you become a better artist. So let other artists inspire you. It's going to help you find your own style, things that you really like to create, and it's going to further you as an artist in your journey. So I wouldn't say trying, I would say doing, especially if you've been doing it for the last year. That's doing it. You're doing the thing. I need to fix this shell now. Now that I have this little guy all marked out. fix some of this shadowing. It's making the shell look a little too tipped over. There we go. I hope that one of my goals this year, just like rereading your comment spins, one of my goals this year is to write a prompt book. I don't know if I'll be able to get it published. I'm like, that's not my goal for this year. If I can get it done, then awesome. But to write a prompt book, I just want to make sure that one, I'm not stepping on any toes, because I don't want to steal anything from Mariah, nor do I want to steal anything from Chantel Arts. I want it to be unique and represents me. But I'm hoping like I can channel more of like my emotional way of painting into it to create prompts to maybe help other artists become a little bit more mindful of their emotions. So like kind of like put a bit of my journey into book form. And even if I only ever sell one copy of it, that would be that would be like all I could ever ask for. Just one person was my goal of being an artist when I was little. Outside of wanting to be a marine biologist or a country singer or anything else like that, like when I wanted to be an artist, one of my goals that I told myself is like I would consider myself a successful artist if I can inspire at least one person. If I inspired one other person, I would consider myself successful as an artist. And I remember Miss Burns asking me, she's like, that's a weird goal. You don't want to make any money? Like, you know, most people, when they want to do these kinds of things, it's because they want to make sure they have money. I'm like, nope, I want to inspire. And I kind of held on to that even way into my adult years. So that would be my goal with the book. If I get it published, if I can sell one copy and help one person in their art journey, then I would consider that a successful book. That's kind of what I was thinking. I actually have some written down. Like I don't normally write things down. I'm not a writer, but I have been writing stuff down for this. And that was one of the things was like covering emotions I've discovered in my own journey. So um uh acquiescence acquiescence oh my gosh, now I'm losing it. Acquiescence. So acquiescence would be in there since it's a one I've discovered. And I do want to have like a little section of like emotions I learned in my journey through art. Like equanimity, acquiescence now. Like almost kind of like a therapy journal, but like I'm not a therapist, so like I wouldn't be trying to like use it to cure anything or diagnose anything. Just kind of help others become more in tune with themselves in a way that I learned to become more in tune with myself. Because I know there's other people out there in the world that like if it worked for me, it's bound to work for another person. And I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, just maybe help somebody who's struggling. How's it going, Fees? One of my therapist friends said that. She's like, I know you're not a therapist, but that's probably something I would use with my clients, especially the artistically inclined clients. Which I mean, like, that's way beyond what I could ever hope for, but that would be really cool. Just like an explanation. It might be interesting to try to like translate that one. I would have to have Eric help me with like Spanish. But I do think like if I could offer the book in because it wouldn't translate the same way. Like acquiescence wouldn't necessarily translate the same way into Spanish. So it would definitely like there would need to be tweaking. But Eric is very fluent in Spanish, so I'm confident that's at least one language I could get it translated into. It is a skull. There's lots of little skulls. And this little guy down here is a snail. I'm definitely just letting my feelings take over. I think this is the first snail I've ever made in art. That's not something I normally do, are snails. Did I turn this down? We had the maintenance crew out here clearing out the driveway. Oh, nice. I'm probably going to take a really nice picture of this one and post it on just to share. This is the first painting I've completed on a live, and I started this one from scratch. There's just 2 hours. I worked on it for 2 hours last night where I wasn't on live. I did record me working on it, but I just like cleaned up some details, some like stuff I figured would be okay to just not do on my live. To share it with everybody, like, this is what I create in my lives. I need to figure out what kind of pattern I want on the the shell. I just use my phone. The main thing I try to do when I'm taking a picture of my artwork is see how my hand is kind of creating a shadow right around here. What I try to do is angle it so that my camera doesn't cast a shadow on it, but it has enough like light from multiple directions so that I could take a clear picture as possible. I do like to use natural lighting. I find natural lighting showcases the colors a lot better than artificial lighting. So like an open window and just angle it so like I don't cast any shadows on the artwork. Try my best to line it up, and a lot of phone cameras, you can go into settings and you can actually increase the resolution. So I currently have mine increased to 50 megapixels and it creates raw images so that I can like really clean them up and make them look nice. A lot of phones have that capability. So you might want to go into your settings and just check on your phone, and then like don't be afraid to edit it. Yeah, the shadows do like it can be a hassle sometimes trying to get the correct angle where you could get close enough to your picture to take a picture to capture all the details without casting that shadow. Uh, you will definitely get better with it the more often you do it. And I do think that you should always take a picture of your art. You don't know what something might happen. I've had animals destroy artwork. I've destroyed my own artwork, and some like it would have been nice if I had pictures of it. So I do like encourage everybody to try to take pictures as best you can. And there's a lot of different things you can do. It's just a lot of experimenting. It's an artwork in itself, an art form, taking pictures. You will improve the more you do it. Let's see. I definitely need to add a pattern on the shell. It is just missing something. Now that I'm looking at a reference, I see what's wrong with the shell. I'm gonna have to just completely redo it. Oh well. But now that I have a reference, I can do this. I'm gonna have to get a bigger brush. The life of an artist. I did all this work and I'm just gonna kind of destroy it. But it will make sense. I promise you guys, it will make sense. Just don't be scared. Just do it. Just do it. I'm gonna go in with my purple. References help. References really do help. Although, like, I don't know, that's kind of cute. I would have probably like tried to turn him into crosses, like a cross between a lemur and a raccoon. Sounds like an adorable animal. Just go with the flow at that point. What would a raccoon lemur look like? I could just imagine it now, like a pudgy little raccoon hopping across like a lemur with its arms up like this as it's jumping around. With its little crazy looking raccoon hands. Yep, this is gonna look so much better. It's a ghost of its old glory. You know, since I have gone green, and I'm using purple for the shadowing in this, it might be good to use like a burgundy or a magenta, like a dark magenta for the like pattern on the shell. Okay, you just gotta go. That is much better perspective. It was gonna bug me if I had left it like that. It's gonna be such an ordinary looking snail. But I kind of like that. And there we go. Snail shell has been corrected. That is looking so much better. It's almost kind of looking like peanut butter and jelly, too. I just realized I didn't have one of the lights on. That might help, too. You know what? I think I'm gonna put hints of the yellow and the purple. So it really ties into everything. It won't look like peanut butter and jelly for much longer. Actually, you know what? I want to mix it into this brown. Dulls it down a little bit, but still like bringing in some of that yellow. Did you know like a snail's swirl on its shell indicates whether or not it is, if I'm remembering this correctly, like I learned this way back in high school, but our science teacher it explained to us that snails can be either right-handed or left-handed, and it's quite easy to find whether a snail is left-handed or right-handed. This would be a right-handed snail because the swirl goes off to the right. You can find left-handed snails. They are very rare, but the left-handed snails, the shell will spiral off to the left. And that is how you can tell if a snail is a dominant right or left-handed snail. I thought it was really interesting because I had never really, before that point, never really thought about like whether animals can be right or left-handed. I mean, it absolutely makes sense. It's just at the time, never dawned on me. So if you did not know that, now you know snails can be right or left-handed. I don't know if this is all snails, but I do know it's with garden snails. Because she had showed us, she had brought in some snails she had. She had one that was left-handed, then a whole bunch that were right-handed to kind of like hammer in just how rare it is. I don't know. I never thought about that. I might have to look into it. Because if that's the case, then it would. I feel like that would indicate it has something to do with the magnetic field on the direction, like a snail spiral, like would influence whether a snail is right or left-handed. I mean, stranger things are in the animal kingdom. So if you're wondering on the pattern, I am using the pattern of a garden snail, at least like the garden snails I am aware of, the ones that I grew up with in California and in Nevada. I do believe they're invasive to Nevada, though. Not sure if they're invasive to California. But I'm just like I'm saturating specific parts of the pattern. So like this would have should have been like the same color brown as the rest of the shell. I decided to increase the saturation up into a yellow. And I'm gonna do the same thing with like the darker browns. I'm gonna like go more with like a magenta or burgundy. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm thinking magenta though, so it helps tie in a little bit better. I'm liking that. Huh. That's interesting. That does kind of make sense though. think it would be like maybe human influence, just like in olden days, people used to turn left-handed students into right-handed students. I feel like it would almost have to be some kind of influence from humans. But I guess there would be like no way to really know. There's only like what, one breed of actual wild horse left in the world. All the rest are descendants of domesticated horses. Hmm. I don't know. I'll have to like look into it more. Those are the kinds of rabbit holes I like falling into. They're just niche and so out there. And I'm sure there's got to be some kind of study out there with horse breeding, as crazy as it is. I know there's lots of people who would put money into like any kind of study regarding horses just so like they can learn how to make them perform better. I am right there with you, Fee. Um, I can't write very well, but I can write with my left hand. I've never broken my right arm or anything. It was just when I was little, I wanted to learn how to do stuff with my left hand. And so I tried teaching myself how to be ambidextrous. And some things, like, I do still do some things with my left hand instead of my right hand. And I can still do a whole lot with my left hand that other people struggle with. So like there's still parts of it that are there, but I haven't like sat down and written in years that I definitely like would be very rusty with my left hand. Every once in a while I'll use my left hand to like paint something. I can still do my lines. And they're not too shaky. Definitely more confident with my right though. That's good for your brain though, Fee. And I haven't written cursive in so long. Last time I tried this, there was one letter that got me stuck, and it was Z or Z, depending on what part of the world you're in. That's my Achilles tendon with cursive. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It's better to be prepared and like have the skill and not need it than need the skill and not have it. Yes, it is one of those weird ones. It's like a two. No, the two is Q. Capital Q is two. Yeah, I can't even picture Z right now. I used to be able to write like all the time in cursive, but then I moved like so I learned cursive in California because I was there until the second grade. And that was when I learned cursive was in the second grade. And then I moved to Nevada and like I got in trouble for writing in cursive. And I was forced to stop writing in cursive. I'm just gonna have to like print out like one of those grade school worksheets for cursive just to practice it again. It's kind of looking electric. The purple and the yellow combined. That might go away though with adding in some burgundy. Yeah, I would like to get back into cursive because I agree it is much faster. But my writing is like gotten really weird as an adult because I know I don't have the best handwriting in the world, and I would get lots of complaints from people like I can't read your handwriting, and that was when I was doing both uppercase and lowercase. So now everything I write is just in uppercase. I don't even know why that started, but now I just like everything's print uppercase, and I don't get any more complaints about people not being able to read my handwriting. Like I've gone so long with not writing lowercase letters. I struggle like remembering like wait, what does a lowercase n look like? Everywhere else in the country, yes. Um, Unfortunately, my state, Nevada, is one of the lowest in education, and so a lot of teachers here just do not care, which is very unfortunate because there is a lot of teachers out here that do care, but the state does not take care of teachers at all. Like their pay is atrocious in this state. We are one of the worst when it comes to teachers' pay. Like no joke, we are on par with like Mississippi, and Mississippi is known for like really low education scores. So yes, like if I would have been in any other state, I would have been fine because yeah, the teachers want you to write in wanted you to write in cursive and understand it. But like to give you an idea, I in California, my first and second grade school was an accelerated school. It was a school dedicated to the GATE program, which is like for just accelerated students, students who learn rather quickly. And so, like, that was the school I was in. And then when we moved to Nevada, the teachers were like, he's difficult and he doesn't learn very well. So then they put me into special education. And it really, like, killed my drive to learn when I was a kid. Slow down. Don't need you puking. I'm actually like not against teachers getting paid. I want them to get paid. Same thing with caregivers and nurses. I absolutely think their pays should be increased because they are doing a vital role, a vital job. And I understand like better pay would also like help morale and the students would absolutely benefit. A happier teacher is going to make happier students. So I'll never fault a teacher for wanting better pay just because I have a lot of family members were teachers. I have a lot of friends who are teachers and like even back in the 90s their pay was kind of gross. Onyx, what are you doing? Why are you being weird? Why are you licking the carpet? What's on the carpet that I need to know of? Is there something over there? Did you puke? I don't know if you guys can see him in the corner right there. Sir, why are you licking the carpet? Onyx. There isn't even anything over there. Why are you licking the carpet, weirdo? Thought he might have like dropped something. I'm so glad I went with the snail. I'm loving the vibe it's adding into this. It's different and I never would have thought I would have enjoyed painting a snail. How's it going, Brosy Bear? Thank you, thank you. I am almost done with this. It is definitely taken on a unique look.
There's snow on the car. That's why.
Oh,
Stay
the
in
dogs might get loud. I apologize for that. Eric just got home.
Why is it that I have to pick you up every time because you don't listen? No, don't get too far. Yeah, try to
Yep, that's why I like this series so much because it does let my art take on a mind of its own. Just letting it come out the way that it wants to come out.
You gonna get oatmeal again?
Yes. I just did a fourth of a cup with an egg. I'm definitely going to finish this. I am so close. I don't want to end the stream yet. That shell is sitting on the snail so much better now, though. That's way better than it was the first time.
Did you cook their oatmeal?
Just microwave.
How long?
I just did a minute. Did you add the egg with it? We're getting the dogs' food together. I got white and everything else. I gotta use white in the snail.
I want it golden.
Okay. Now comes burgundy permanent magenta. Let's see. It's going to be pretty vibrant, but it is a good between of the red and the purple. And that's a lot darker. You know what? Why not both? Why not both? We're going to do both. Both is good.
This would go a lot faster. If I can do it one here, two here, Mr. Bastard.
And then I'm definitely going to go yellow and green for the snail.
Baxter. Baxter. Hey.
Baxter, buddy, come on.
You know. You had your opportunity to be on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, well, maybe next time don't, you know, I'm gonna tell you not to bark. You probably shouldn't. Right? Yeah, that's right. No, you don't get to jump off. You can't behave. You don't get to be on, you don't get to go ballistic. Okay? You need to chill. Yeah, you need to be a chill puppy. Why? Because we are professionals. Okay? You're a professional puppy. You need to behave as such. Not like a heathen. No. Your brother isn't getting you either. Yeah, just stay quiet. Baxter. Baxter. Thank you. Daddy doing his thing.
Looking so weird. I'm liking it though. What do y'all think so far of this snail shell? I like the pattern. Definitely sitting so much better.
I really like it. It smells nice.
A little bit more magenta. Thank you, thank you. It's got some charm. Pattern definitely helps it feel like it belongs. I like that too. I was worried it was like I wanted it to look a little bit out of place, but still look like it belonged. And I feel like it's doing that. Yeah, I agree with that. The extra detail kind of like helped it pop. And kind of like fit the amount of detail that's in the other stuff. Just need the yellow to pop a little bit more. It's starting to look a little dull. And then I'm going to move on to the snail, like his body, or her body, or its body. Whatever the snail is. It's a mollusk, so who knows? I am not a mollusk scientist, so I have no way of being able to identify what a snail is. I also don't know if it's one of those species that's got like an ungodly number of genders. Like there's that mushroom, or I shouldn't say mushroom, but a fungus that's got like 57,000 different genders. It's like, okay, that's that is intense. I have no idea how that works. Maybe that's a a rabbit hole I'll fall down this weekend. I was like wondering, like trying to pick a subject. I like learning new stuff, and I try to pick new subjects. And I know that there's a fungus that's got like 57,000 different genders. So maybe I'll do some like digging into that, just to like, why? What is the evolutionary advantage to having 57,000 different genders? I apologize, my brain's all over the place. These are just the weird thoughts that cross my mind while I'm painting and getting lost in the process. My husband is very used to it. He wouldn't have me any other way though, as he tells me. It almost looks like a jewel. Okay. Now it's time for the actual body of the snail, and then this thing will be done. So I'm thinking I probably have at least 30 more minutes, possibly an hour. But that does kind of put my idea for how long this painting was going to take, like, almost square on the money. I was thinking it was going to take about 20 hours, and I'm currently at 21 hours for it. Some of them I do, some of them I do not, because varnish is expensive. I have come to like find that Winsor and Newton paints, um, they do last quite a while, super vibrant without any varnish on them. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my very first painting, and I'll show you like the reds, which are typically one of the first colors to kind of go, and how they compare. Okay, so this is now 6 years old, and this it has a coating on it, but it's not like a varnish. However, this is satin windows, like for the where the sun can hit it, and the pinks have lasted a really long time. The red is still super vibrant. Like I would absolutely redo this, but just for what it is and for how old it is, the colors have held up really nicely without an actual like good varnish over it. So I don't always do it. Now, if I am mailing the painting out to somebody, I always varnish the painting. So every painting that like I've sold or have sent, it's been varnished. And I use the Winsor and Newton spray varnish. I don't like the brush on varnishes. I've ruined a painting from brush on varnishes because it reactivated the paint, even though it was acrylic. And I'll never do that again because it like the brush strokes from brushing on the varnish is what messed the painting up. If I would have just sprayed it, it would have been fine. And it wasn't a gouache, it was the Winsor and Newton stuff. It just reactivated it. So I only use spray on varnish now. This one I probably won't put any varnish on, at least not like immediately. I might like later on. But as you can see with that other painting, and it was like, what did I put on it? It wasn't Mod Podge, but it's something similar to Mod Podge. So like not a true varnish. It's not going to protect it from UV light or anything like that. It was mainly just to kind of like help it with like scratches or anything. But Winsor and Newton paint, I every year I use it, I discover that I why I like it so much. It's not the cheapest paint, but it's not the most expensive. And it does last. It's just I just find it to be really good quality. Now, if I were using cheaper paints, like if I were using Apple Barrel, I absolutely would varnish it because the varnish will help the paint last longer and protect it from UV. So it does depend on the paint. Golden, Liquitex, and Winsor and Newton, I find don't like their colors will stay vibrant for a very long time without varnish. Whereas like Apple Barrel, Artist Loft, those paints, they do tend to fade after a couple years. Like they still look pretty vibrant, but they will fade. And so like if I was using a cheap acrylic, I absolutely would varnish it just to help it stay vibrant and protected longer. So if you're ever curious about that, I would absolutely encourage you to varnish your work if you're using a cheaper acrylic to help extend its life. And, it does make it look a little bit more professional. I'm glad I went with green. I was super worried the green was gonna look so funny. I think the jewel thing went a little. My brain held on to that jewel thing just a little too much because now it's starting to look like an emerald. Or maybe it wasn't too much. Maybe it was just right. He's a chunky little snail. I like my chunky little snail. He's a slithery little snail. Now I'm just trying to get some of this detail in. Just to kind of make it look like it belongs. Oh, that's why it's looking funny. I'm gonna have to fix the shell again. I need to bring it down to about right here. It might not look as chunky if I do that though. I kind of like that he's a chunky snail though. I don't know if I want to fix the shell because it makes him look really chunky. And I don't know about you guys, but I really don't see very many chunky snails. And it's kind of cute. Even though, like, in this setting, he's about to be annihilated by this sky skull. In this moment right here, he's perfect. I shouldn't have done it that thick. There we go. Just lighten it up a little bit. It almost kind of looks like a dragon snail. That's something I need to do too. I have artwork of a dragon snail I did a long, long time ago. I want to recreate that. Okay, well, it's not a dragon snail. It's a dragon slug. But this is making me think of that. No shell, so it's not a snail. He is definitely looking like a chunky little boy. I might need to bring him back in a different painting, one where he's not facing his doom. It'll be kind of weird because, like, if this is the snail's canon, like, then I know how he goes. I know what his last moments look like. And if I turn him into a reoccurring character, like, everything I put him in, I know how he's gonna end, like, how it all ends for him. Guess it would be an opportunity to give him, like, a fulfilling life in my art. Knowing how it's all gonna end. Him just accepting his fate. Not seeing a point in fighting it. That could be fun.
Baxter. Baxter.
Just putting him in different situations that he always gets out of. Baxter, slow down.
Baxter.
We don't need you pukey. Yeah, see? This is why I tell you slow down. You drink too fast and then you choke. And nobody has a good time. He does stand out with the green. The green, like, it's interesting. It doesn't clash, but it clashes. Same thing with the shell. It goes, but it clashes at the same time. And that's kind of what I was going through. Just like this weird, uneasy jarriness with the colors. I didn't want it to look like they just did not belong at all, but I also wanted them to just kind of not quite feel right. I think I succeeded with these colors. Just compared to everything else, they just feel off, almost like an uncanny feeling. I like that. Listening to my gut. My gut knows. feel like I would have to do a different painting for that one. That origin story just kind of goes against the acquiescence of the painting. Like maybe this is he's at a point where he feels like he has seen everything there is to see, and he's kind of just maybe he's just like accepting of his fate. He lived a long life, and that's why he's not fighting it. Sees it coming, and it's just okay with it. I do think that would make it a lot better to kind of go backwards with him. He can be like my Benjamin Button character. Baxter. Baxter. Come on, buddy. The water's not going nowhere. You could take little sips here and there. You don't need to drink a gallon at a time. Like maybe his origin story is very similar to this one. Like maybe he was born during a forest fire. And he escaped through that and beat all odds to get out of the forest fire. That would be kind of funny. I do need to fix his shell. I am going to fix that once I finish. I just need to bring it down a little bit more. But yeah, his shell would have to get smaller. I kind of like Snail Button. I think that's going to be his name, Snail Button. It's Mr. Button, Snail Button. And that's why he's a little chunky. He's old. And we all put on a little bit of weight when we get older, so like it's just him as an old man. This does make me feel something kind of sorrowful. think that fits. I think it fits what I was going for quite well. I don't think I really need to add too much more either. Yeah, I think the snail body is done. I just need to fix that part of the shell, and then I'm done. So it'll be just under 22 hours. Not bad. Okay, where does it need to go? It needs to go. Oh, right there. That looks a lot better. And he still looks chunky. Okay, I'm happy. I didn't want to take away his chunkiness. I wanted him to still look chunky. Last final touches, and then I need to sign it. There's a spot right there. Right here, I can put my signature. Oh, you know what? I need to put some black and some white. Else is black and white in it. I need to put some black and white, like, just to kind of finish tying it all together. It's gonna crispen up some of these lines. touched black. Turn that white really gray really quick. I am very happy with that. Yes. And there we go. All signed. It is done. I really I really like this one. I am very happy with it. Learned a new emotion, acquiescence. Got out a new emotional state painting. Ah, that snail. My heart kind of goes out to him just the way he's looking at it. It's just like just looking at it like it, here it comes. Such an interesting subject. I just my mind went to a very weird place with the snail, but I'm very very happy with it. Now I feel like I could get kind of like back into my scheduled stuff. Hopefully this really does like it got out everything I needed to get out so that I can move on, get past this art block and work on my regular stuff. I feel like I can. I feel a lot better and lighter now that this is out. It has a home on this canvas. Such a unique setting too. I love the colors. I like the colors that I went with. Listening to my gut. Oh, you know what? I forgot his little pupils. I gotta put his little pupils so he can see what's coming. There we go. Now he's done. Now it's done. Now, brushes down. Leave it alone. Don't touch it anymore. Now I gotta find a spot to hang it on the wall. I also need to get up and start stretching around because this is a 4-hour stream and I have been sitting the whole time. So I do need to get up and start stretching around and get dinner going. So I appreciate everybody who joined. Like I got this done in just less than 22 hours. I'm very happy with that. I know some of you were here for the entire thing, and I appreciate that if you were. And for those that just joined in for a minute or are watching this after the fact, I really appreciate you. So yeah, I hope you all stay safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.